Let's think about the Teachers College in our hearts and minds, which touches every corner of the world every day. What is Teachers College? It's the epicenter of education, health, and psychology. It is nearly every school system, community health program, and multicultural counseling program in the United States and beyond. But it's also a coffee cart on West 120th Street. It's a speeding number 1 train. It's the early morning sunlight over Morningside Park. And at this uncertain moment, it's a way of being in a complicated world. Teachers College is the stuff that dreams are made of. It is a canvas on which each successive generation paints its murals. It's a universal library where we add our collective masterworks. It's a mixing board to lay down our tracks alongside the greats. Teachers College is Harlem, where we work with educators learning the neighborhood's proud history and legacy of resourcefulness and indomitable will. TC is America's community colleges, which are a gateway for underserved populations. And TC is also indelibly New York City, where we are helping schools transition to online education, bringing critically needed medical equipment to major hospitals, and providing psychological services, even as the current crisis touches us personally. But Teachers College is also Bangladesh and Lebanon. TC is Ecuador and Peru. It's Ghana and Cambodia and Bolivia. It's China and it's Europe. On almost every continent, we find TC, creating and improving schools, bringing physics to young people worldwide through hip-hop pedagogy, giving displaced people new hope, working with indigenous populations to preserve their own languages, helping children with cleft palate reclaim their lives, empowering children with autism to utter their first words. All of these people, states, and countries are Teachers College, as are all the places our students call home. It's everywhere that our graduates are shaping a healthier, better educated, more equitable, and more joyful world. TC is in our hearts and minds, as well as in every corner of the world.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are so grateful that you're joining us today, and I personally am so grateful for all that you do to support teaching and learning here at Teachers College. To give you a sense of the impact of your generosity, I'd like to share a few quick stories from the past year. One of our biggest and best stories has been TC's amazing transition to teaching all of our courses online. You'll hear more about that from President Bailey later in the program. From my perspective, watching our faculty in action has been an eye-opening and mind-opening experience. From diabetes education to movement sciences to teacher preparation, our faculty did more than adapt quickly to online instruction. They embraced digital learning as a way to transform their research and pedagogy. I'll share 2 examples. For many years now, Professor Kate Crowley has been taking groups of students to developing nations to conduct speech therapy with children who have undergone cleft palate surgery. Professor Crowley has received humanitarian awards for this important work, which medical leaders in the countries depend on, and which is a true capstone experience for our students. This year, undeterred by COVID, Professor Crowley created videos that enabled her students to reproduce common errors in speech formation made by children who have corrective surgery. The videos used a tool called PlayPosit, which enabled the students to raise questions and offer comments on each other's efforts. Then, using Zoom, the students treated their young patients in Colombia, providing face-to-face cleft palate speech therapy in real time. As one student later put it, "I think working through Zoom has given me and my classmates a unique set of skills." Here's another great story. Before the COVID pandemic hit, Professor Deetra Price-Dennis and her students were leading a fascinating project in a New York City public school. Using digital technology, they were helping children look at statues and other monuments in their neighborhoods, learn the history behind them, and then consider whether these symbols reflected the people in their community. The kids also proposed ideas for local people who should be honored. The project's been on hold since the pandemic began, but Professor Price Dennis's students have created their own animations to express their reactions to articles they've read about engaging youth in research. They've also collaborated on a policy statement about online learning. Professor Price Dennis herself has been one of the most visible resources for teachers around New York City and across the nation, as they too have made the transition online. So you can see that going remote, our faculty have gotten closer to their students and gone deeper into their work. As I said at the outset, we couldn't do this amazing work without all of you, the most loyal and dedicated supporters of TC and its community. Your continued support should come as no surprise. After all, you've always been there for us. But at the same time, the way you've rallied to TC's banner during these months is truly remarkable. And no one has benefited more from your support, and no one has felt more grateful for your support than our exceptional and exceptionally dedicated students. Thanks to your generosity, they're well on their way to fulfilling their dreams of making the greatest possible difference in the world. In a moment, you'll hear directly from 4 super exceptional TC students who will tell you about the amazing work that they have been doing. Before you do, I want to especially say thank you to the members of TC's Maxine Greene Society and John Dewey Circle. In good times and bad, your support and devotion to TC provides us with an elixir guaranteed to infuse our faculty and students with innovation, enthusiasm, and confidence. Traditionally, at this time of year, we'd be gathering together to say thank you. Perhaps you attended last year's event at the Empire Hotel. We would listen to the great words of our students and faculty. We would say cheers to all of you. Instead, today we're gathered virtually, but I hope that this event leaves you with the same feelings of appreciation as prior years. Your support is simply invaluable. So now, dear friends, it's my great pleasure to propose a toast in your honor. To our loyal friends, may we all continue to experience the fruits of your investment and faith in Teachers College. And now it brings me great joy to present our students.
Hi, my name is Annalissa, and I want to give a big thank you to all of the donors that made it possible for me to be here. I chose TC because I knew I wanted a master's program that was focused on social justice, equity, and multiculturalism, and I see that in this program. I remember my first class this summer was a social studies class, and I was introduced to the idea of windows and mirrors, and that children need to be able to see through into other people's experiences, but then also see themselves reflected in their education. And I think that that's a huge thing in education, something that needs to be standard. And I'm really lucky that I'm getting to experience this perspective on education here. And it's really just a big thank you to all of you who are donating to make it possible for me to be here, because I wouldn't be able to be here without you, and I wouldn't get this experience without you. So again, a big thank you, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your year.
My name is DJ Jeffries, and I am a first-year master's student studying adult learning and organizational leadership at TC. I am originally from Memphis, Tennessee, where I was raised in large part by my very hardworking grandmother, who put her body on the line, sometimes working 3 jobs so that we could have food and shelter. And when years later I asked her why she did it, she said she did it so that we could have a chance. It was that chance that led me to become the first in my family to graduate from college. It was that same chance that propelled me to New York City, where I landed a job at a Fortune 500 company. And it's the same type of chance that the TC Fund offers to students just like me. I've only been at TC for a short time now, but in that time I've had a number of insightful experiences. I can think about a few weeks ago when I was in my adaptive negotiation and conflict resolution course, and we were discussing power in organizations. It occurred to me that power in organizations means that you not only get to set the size and the scope of the metaphorical table, but you get to decide whether or not to take a chance on expanding the guest list. I believe that it is our responsibility as professionals to make our organizations more diverse and inclusive. And that's why my research focuses on both how we can increase representation of underrepresented and marginalized communities and organizations, but also how we can challenge those organizations to better serve them. I do this work from the viewpoint of an HR professional. And as cliche as it sounds, I chose HR because I am a people person, but not in the sense that I just love being around people, even though I think people are great. I do it because I believe in people's capacity to solve the biggest challenges facing us. And these complicated and often unprecedented challenges require and demand diverse and innovative solutions. I'll never forget the sacrifices and generosity that has helped make pursuing my dreams possible. Whether that be from a parent or a grandparent, a scholarship or foundation, a family friend, or just a concerned stranger. But even more important than never forgetting, I'll never stop trying to offer the same type of chance to someone else. So in closing, I'd like to offer a word of gratitude. Your donation to the TC Fund helps put the future first. It helps support teaching and learning at TC, and the kinds of discussions I've mentioned that I've had and that I hope to continue to have during my time here at TC. And it provides access, opportunity, and yes, a chance to students from all backgrounds. And for that, I would like to say thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Julian David-Drori. I am 23 years old and I am a first year student in the Masters of Neuroscience and Education program here at Teachers College. My background in research is in behavioral neurotoxicology with a specialty in drugs such as THC, whereas my clinical background is in autism spectrum disorder and other neurodevelopmental disabilities. On a personal level, I have twin little brothers with ASD, and I have neurodevelopmental disabilities myself, such as dysgraphia and ADHD-I. So these issues have definitely impacted me on both a professional and a personal level. My end goal is actually to go into clinical neuropsychology and work with individuals with these disorders, not just as a diagnostician, but also to help the world be more accessible and the education system be more fruitful for them, help them succeed rather than just struggle through. When I found this program at Teachers College, reading a bit more into it, I thought this is definitely the program for me. It definitely fits what I want to do. And since being here, I know I'm only in my first year, but I've encountered faculty that are very caring and approachable and also willing to help you achieve your goals. In addition, many of my fellow students, we all come from different backgrounds and different walks of life, so we definitely all bring a different opinion and viewpoint to our studies here. I feel that this will definitely be a great stepping stone to my end goal of becoming a clinical neuropsychologist, but I couldn't do any of this without help from the TC Annual Fund. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for donating.
Hi, I'm Mariana Casellato. I'm a second-year master's student in the International Educational Development Program at Teachers College. And I chose TC because it's one of the most renowned universities in the world, especially in my field of comparative international education. And that means that I get to have access to amazing opportunities, amazing faculty and scholarly resources that I wouldn't be able to have access to otherwise. I'm from Brazil, and before I came to TC, I used to work with youth, social movements, and grassroots initiatives towards environmental education and media education. And for me, access, equity, and justice in education has to do with building a bridge between those voices in the grassroots level and the academic field. I think it's a very important connection to be made, and I've been putting my efforts as a beginner scholar into that. One of the things that I've been doing is that as a TC student, I am also an intern at AC4, an Earth Institute research center. I produce the center's podcast. And this past few months, I've been working in partnership with a professor on public health from Rwanda, producing a 3-episode series podcast on colonialism and COVID-19. And we've been able to bring different voices from the local level to discuss people doing amazing work from Zimbabwe, the Navajo Nation, Somalia, Liberia, Brazil, to discuss the intersections between coloniality and COVID-19. We've been having amazing response to that work, so I've been very glad to be able to have some impact with what I'm doing. And I'm hoping to do more of that in my time here at TC and after I graduate. So it's been a very rich experience. And none of this would have been possible without the financial aid that give me support to be here at the college. So I'd just like to take a moment and thank you all for supporting the TC Fund. It wouldn't be able for me to be here if it wasn't for that. Thank you very much.
Welcome. I'm delighted to be with everybody virtually. 2 years ago, we gathered at the Tavern on the Green, a wonderful event. It was very exciting for me. I had just started. Last year, we were at the rooftop at the Empire Hotel, also on a wonderful evening. This is the 3rd annual fund gathering for me. Like everybody else here, I am so eager to be able to get back to those events so that we can get together, get to know each other, shake hands, and meet in person. So that's something to aspire to, and we look forward to doing that. So what a wonderful event we've had today. And I want to thank our remarkable student presenters for their impressive and inspiring presentation. So I have 3 reactions hearing TC students describe their work. The first is admiration for the complexity and originality of their work. I'm amazed that they're students. They seem so mature and developed in the way that they've developed their careers and the thinking that they're doing about their research. And I'm proud in the impact that they have on Teachers College, on their professions and on society, and also proud in the way that Teachers College has actually influenced them and taught them how to do that. And finally, my third emotion is gratitude to the donors for supporting our students and the work all of us are doing at Teachers College. Now, I have similar 3 emotions when I reflect on how TC has responded to the challenges of the past 7 months. First of all, I have admiration for the way that our faculty and students were able to move 775 courses to online instruction virtually overnight. We are also, although we did have to empty some of our residences, we were able to keep students who had no place to go, we were able to accommodate their needs. I also admire the way that we have deployed our research and expertise to help educators throughout the city and country adapt to remote learning, to help families develop healthy eating and exercise routines, and most really importantly, to ensure the delivery of critical mental health services to those who are especially vulnerable. I think every one of us understands personally the importance of having good mental health support and services. So I'm pleased that Teachers College has played such a crucial role in that. Now, I'm also proud in how the college has prepared to flourish online throughout the fall. We made wise investments in digital instruction, academic programming, student services, and research, and those investments are now paying off. Also, we've emphasized the strengthening of our student services. One example is our reformed career services, TC Next. Also, I really encourage everybody to go to our Come Together site which is an attempt to try to reproduce the type of environment and community that we all value at Teachers College and are frustrated that it's difficult to do that in a remote environment. My third emotion, which is thankful gratitude for donor support. This is key to the present and the future. It's flexibility that keeps TC strong and focused on our teaching and research mission and to serve our students and the greater public good. Now we have big plans for the future. We are now working on a strategic plan that has 5 key elements. I will give you a very brief description of those elements. The first element, which is a reorganization of our departments and academic programs. We are going to analyze those programs and make sure that they are put together in a way that is most effective for the students, for the faculty, and the effect that Teachers College has on the world. The second element is that we will bolster our research enterprise to enable more faculty to win major grants for their important work. Now, winning more grants has several benefits to our students in the college. It brings more resources to the faculty for their research and to the college as a whole. Secondly, it helps provide financial support to students, but it also gives them really important experiences, allowing them to work alongside faculty for the important research that they're doing. The third element is that we are working to become a leader in digital learning and pedagogy. A centerpiece of that will be the establishment of a Digital Futures Institute. Now, that also has 3 elements to it. First of all, to make sure that our own pedagogy is excellent, that we are making the best use of technology, both in the classroom as well as in an online environment. The second element of that will be to make sure that we actually can provide assistance to schools, colleges, and universities and other businesses who want to use technology to promote the types of education and training that they're doing as well. And the third is to develop a research program so that we are developing technologies as well as testing technologies to make sure that people around the world know that they can come to Teachers College to find the answers to their questions about what they can do and how they can use technology most effectively. The fourth element of our strategic plan is a comprehensive commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that our own community reflects the types of principles and environment that we would like to see in the rest of the world. Secondly, we're going to examine our own curriculum and make sure that that is appropriately diverse. And we want to make sure that our faculty, our students, and our staff also reflect the diversity of the city and the world that we live in. The fifth element of our strategic plan is a comprehensive commitment to student pathways. We know that our instruction is excellent, but we want to make sure that all of the other elements of a student's experience that makes them successful are in place and are designed in the best possible way. We want to make sure that we are connected to our students from the moment that they apply to when they first arrive, throughout their experience at the college, when they're looking for jobs and activities after they complete their instruction, and finally, as they move out into the world and join our alumni. Some closing thoughts. First of all, I have confidence that TC will continue to prove itself equal to the tasks that it faces. I think the experience that we've had in the last 7 months, it indicates the ability that we have to react to very difficult circumstances. And finally, I want to re-emphasize the role that donor support will have in positioning TC to become more effective. It's absolutely crucial for that. It gives us flexibility, and we thank you every day. So thank you for your generosity each and every year, and thank you for joining us today.